mom vibes. I'm sadly not mom vibes. This is a very hyper specific things. I have seen, because I'm very grateful about myself, where it's like I've never struggled when it comes to like how I perceive myself, because I see myself as just a guy. You know, like it's very simple. I see myself as just a guy, but I know my boundaries. I know that I'm not comfortable with like sexual, like very sexual like banters between chat, or like I'm talking sex. You know what I mean? Like romance is fine. Sex jokes are fine. But if it's like R18 stuff, I'm not very comfortable with that. And I do know this because I was talking about this with Numi the other day, where she was talking that like some people don't have the privilege to be comfortable in their sexuality right off the bat. Like some people need to like go through stuff, experience stuff, discover stuff. And that applies for everything, not just sexuality, you know, like self-identity or all that good stuff. People need to kind of figure that out and go through stuff to learn more about them. I am very lucky to be able to be comfortable with my sexuality ever since I was young, because I'm not even kidding, my mom made an oopsie. It's one of the funniest stories. I tell this all the time. It's always my best favorite story ever, because I want you to know, by the way, when I say that, right, like I've always known my sexuality since I was in like 5th grade, 6th grade, you know? And every time I say that, people are like, we're so happy. That means your parents are supportive of your sexuality. Wrong. I used to have, and I'm not kidding, one of the most homophobic parents you'll ever meet. Like, I'm talking traditional Asian, and I forgot the other word, conservative. They were definitely homophobic, 100,000%. So what happened was, at one point I was talking to my mom and I had a crush on one of my friends, and she's a girl. And I told my mom, and I was like, Mom, I have this, is it normal for me to like a girl? And my mom said yes. She was like, yeah, of course. Women are beautiful. Women are hot. They bring themselves with dignity and they're very caring and kind. So of course it's normal to love women. And I'm like, okay. So then I never questioned it, right? I literally never questioned it, ever. Because my mom said it's normal, and I don't care that everyone around me said it's not normal. I trust my mom, and my mom said it's normal. So I've been fine with it. Until my mom found out that I've been flirting with my crush, that was also a girl, later on in life, around like late middle school, early high school. And my mom's like, why are you talking like this with a girl? And I'm like, oh, I have a crush on her. Hee hee. Mom's like, what do you mean by that? I'm like, well, I have a crush on her. She's like you love her? And I'm like, yeah. You know, like, I guess so, twiddles toes. And my mom's like, wait, what? I'm like, yeah, you told me it was normal, remember? I asked you years ago. And mom's like, oh shit, I did, didn't I? All right, good luck. And then ever since then, I'm not kidding, I will say that I'm so proud of my parents. They have grown so much. They are the type that still hold on to like their more traditional beliefs, but they are not like judgmental or rude or unaccepting. They accept everyone. They're very kind now. So it started, I'm not kidding, my mom's arc of turning from homophobic to like kind and understanding and accepting was because I told my mom, like, bruh, you literally told me it was normal. And she's like, shit, bro, I take the L there. You know, you're right. I did say that, didn't I? Ooh, you know what? I said it. I'll deal with it. And then my mom has fully accepted me. It, no joke, took her like 2 days to fully accept me. At first she was like, shit, I said it. She has never not accepted me, by the way. She's just like, shit, I really did say, wow. I meant like adore. Like, I adore women. You know, like you see a woman and you're like, damn, I want to look as pretty as her. I didn't think like you want to marry her. I thought like adore. Damn, but I did say that. No, you're right. I did say that though. Word per word I did. Oh, let me think about it. Has your mom told you to share? Oh yeah, my mom, I tell the story every time. I tell this story so often, and my mom would sit there and she's like, well, yeah, she caught me blindside, didn't she? But hey, a win's a win. This is what she said. She's like, yeah, goddamn, at this point, you know what? If anyone wants her brother... Like, she owns up to it. That's one thing. I have that from my parents. My parents they used to be close-minded, but they are very open-minded now. One thing that I learned from my parents is when you, like, sportsmanship, you know, like, if they are right, you don't be stubborn about it. If you're wrong, you go like, shit. Like, you back up, you acknowledge the situation, you're like, damn, you're kind of right, though, and I was wrong. And then you apologize. Right? And then you go with it. Because sometimes, chat, in life, you gotta learn, you know? You learn very important things. The most important thing in life that I learned, wobble. Sometimes, chat, if you try so hard to be right all the time in life, you will never really be happy. And I choose to be happy. Because if you try to be the right person, you try to fight for why you're right, and you close off the possibility of ever being incorrect, you will never be happy, bro. So I take the L. Like, if I did something and I'm like, shit, I did do that, didn't I? Yikes, I apologize. That was on me. You own up to it, you know? You learn that life is easier that way. Most of the time, chat, when you're arguing with someone, right? If you focus on being correct, you will never really be with them. And that is an important lesson that you youngins, I hope, learn as you progress through life. Because by the end of the day, that's always my best advice for couples. If you argue with someone that you care about and you treat it as you versus them, someone will lose. And if you really love them, if they lose, you lose. If you lose, you lose. So the only way to win is if you treat it as you guys against the problem. Right? You don't have to be correct. You don't have to be wrong. It's not about that. It's about let's address the problem. Let's fix it together. And then we grow together. And that's how you get really healthy relationships. So yeah, sometimes to win is to not participate. Or even, dare I say, to lose. I learned that through my long life here on this great earth. Yeah. It should always be everyone's own decision to be who they are and to do and love who they want to do who they want. I agree. I mean, no shit, I agree. I remember, oh my god, there was a time, by the way, in my country, I wanted to say this, full transparency, LGBTQ in my country is still not legal, right? So I grew up surrounded by a lot of intense homophobia. Very, very intense. The only reason I've never gone through that, like, oh my god, this is wrong, it's literally because of my mom. And I know it's like she oopsied, but that really helped me because I believe everything my mom says like it's Bible, chat. So when my mom told me it's normal, I believed her. Oh, sorry. Don't be sorry. It's normal. You know, I will say our country has become more open-minded recently. Is it open-minded? I would say not. But as it has grown, it's learning. I'm okay with that. By the end of the day, chat, when it comes to like love and stuff, it's really none of it and nobody's business. And I'm gonna make sure it's nobody's business. I'm not gonna act like it's a secret, you know? But I'm not gonna act like people need to know that I am so in love and I'm gonna just treat it like a normal person. You know, whatever kind of relationship it may be. So I don't really be caring too much about it, but sadly it is still very intense. So I grew up surrounded by a lot of homophobic remarks, mentalities, behaviors, conversations. And for the longest time, I never really admitted on stream my sexuality, even though it's very painfully obvious, I feel. I never really said it myself. So I remember the first time I said it, I was like this last year. This was the first time I ever celebrated Pride Month, actually. And then I was like, yay, Happy Pride Month. And then I did get like a lot of people being really mad. Like I got a lot of people being like, how dare you disgust me, and then the West has changed you. It was a lot of those remarks, right? And my favorite thing ever about that came out of it was at first I was a bit like, oh man, it's a sad reminder that there are always people like this, right? But over time, I remember I was streaming one time and someone in chat is like, I think, this whole LGBTQ thing is wrong. Am I right, Michi? And I'm sitting there. My eyes are on chat and I don't want to address it, right? Because it's going to be bad. And my mods bonked it instantly. They were basically being like, I mean, I agree with Michi. I think being like gay is wrong. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, wait, what? I scratch my head as I fantasize about women. Bro really thinks I'm gonna say yeah. What would ever make you think? What would ever? Sweats nervously. I feel like the Among Us. Like, I fear he missed context. Yeah, but I did get some comments that are like, how dare you? There was one of my favorite ideas was people thought that I am, because I'm bisexual, but I prefer women. People thought that I was bisexual because I started streaming on Twitch and then I have a more Western audience, and the Western audience turned me gay. The waters are turning the front. It was like that, right? And I sit there and I'm like, I don't know how to tell this. I don't know how to say this. There has never been once in my, I've never admitted it, no. But you know how many clips exist of me being like, goddamn, woman, if you allow me to bury my face in between your beautiful breasts, I would take it in a heartbeat. I feel like it's not a secret. I don't know. Like, I mean, once, maybe it's a joke. Twice, maybe it's a joke. I feel like I do it so consecutively. My bad, girl. What happened again? God damn. We made Michi gay. Sadly, I hate to break it to you. I've been this way since I was like 5th grade. Sad to say,
she
guys.
was gay as hell coming in the door. Even the door was like, damn, bro, I get it.
Oh my god. I even showed Numi a picture of me when I was in college, and I still remember this. I showed Numi a picture of me in college, IRL picture, right? And Numi literally said, damn, girl, you gay as fuck. What does that mean? Now what in the fuck is that supposed to mean, girl? Now hold, I don't want to hear this from someone that has an edited picture of themselves with the text, love who you want to love. You are who you, I don't want to hear that from you. Deadass.
Damn, she's gay as hell. She's low-key gayer than me. Kumanai Immune 2025.
Numi did say that. She was like, damn, you gayer than me. I don't even know what that means. So Now imagine being a gay male. It's your experience, but I feel like my experience with sexuality has been such a fucking breeze. And it's all thanks to my mom accidentally confirming me when I was young. It's been such a breeze. But obviously, it's not something that everyone has experienced. So again, with the topic of streaming, please know yourself.
First kiss with a girl. Yup, def gay since bear. Let's go.
Damn, me looks at my... Damn. But genuinely, if you do want to do anything public facing, not the streaming, public facing, you gotta develop a tough skin and a tougher mentality of who you are. What you like, your boundaries, what you don't like, what you're not sure of. You have to be able to see that, right? Because if you don't, people will influence you and you're gonna slowly become the person that you never wanted to be. And one day you're gonna sit there and you're like, damn, I don't even know who I am. And that takes a lot of time to detangle. So please know yourself first. Yeah, you gotta have you don't have to be like, oh, I love myself. You don't have to do that, but you just have to know yourself. You have to know the sides of you that you don't like, but you have to know the sides of you that you like. You have to really hold on to that, chat, because I'm telling you, people can say a lot of things and it's gonna sway your opinions and shit. Don't lose yourself to the opinions of the public. People might disagree with you. People might say certain things about you, but by the end of the day, you are you for a reason and you're different for a reason. And something about that is really, really beautiful. So please, really, I had no idea you can be this normal. What the f do you mean? Listen, okay, most of the time I be joking and shit, but this is very important. I've seen so many people fall into this fucking rabbit hole, especially recently during, oh my god, during the pandemic, dare I say. Because streaming boomed, right? So many young, impressionable people. I'm not saying kids. I don't think kids should start doing this, by the way. I still don't. Young, impressionable people start being like, I want to stream too. And then they start streaming. They grow something of themselves. And then what? Like 3 years later, 4 years later, they lose themselves.
Pride 300,
Oy.
thank you.
It hurts, man. Well, thank you. Thank you to you too, chat. Because of you guys, I feel good with being myself. But I've seen so many people that were very impressionable and they got into this industry because they want to have fun. They want to be silly, do their hobbies. And then after a couple of years, you know, they've sacrificed so much and they don't even like themselves. They don't even know who they are. So they can't, if I tell them like, love yourself, they're like, I don't know who to love because I deadass don't even know who I am. And that shit kills you because now you sit there and you're like, how long were you on the internet? And you're like, I've been on the internet since I'm 18. And it's like, shit, girl. Ooh, I see. So I've always been like, not something to be anxious about, just something to be aware about, right? I always warn this because coming from someone that's been in this industry and has been here for a long time, you see a lot of people make a lot of different types of mistakes. And when I say mistakes, I don't mean like public facing, cancel me mistakes. Like they betray themselves, they lose themselves, they sacrifice more than they could sacrifice. Oh, yeah.
I don't know what's going on as when you speak sometimes my mind goes blank, but all I know, chatters, lurkers, and everyone else, love yourself. Don't be ashamed of who you are, and know you are loved no matter what.
Exactly. That's why I'm glad that I help you turn your brain off. That's my whole job as a streamer, you see. I also like to tell people this. As a streamer, you're an entertainer. The word entertain is part of the term. The whole point is after a hard day's work, I can turn your brain off just a little bit. You know, you don't have to think about anything else. Just turn your brain off. Enjoy the moment, the now. You don't have to think about the tomorrow or the yesterday, just the now. And it's nice. It's really comfy. And I like that. I like that a lot. So, Michi lobotomizes chat. What the fuck? Okay, that's a very interesting way to put it. But I've always been very concerned about that. That and love. I don't know. I have my fair opinions on relationships when it comes to it. You know what, chat? I wanted to go to bed. I can go to bed a little later today. Maximum, I need to go to bed at like 5. I want to hop on Rust real quick before we end the stream. I have a topic that I've always been curious on, like, I don't know. It's one of those things that like I like talking about. Because I have an opinion on it, which is crazy. I don't know, crazy. She has an opinion? Watch me have the most lukewarm, not opinion in the world. When it comes to streaming and love. Ooh. What's your warm take? Streaming and love. This is weird, but I always warn people, right? Like, if you're gonna start streaming and shit, I always tell people like, hey, be aware of this because it's very, very normal. Very, very normal. Me personally, I have a principle. I would never personally have a relationship with a viewer. Ooh, a very hyper-specific topic just got brought up. Oh, that is not because of, oh shit, my oil. Not because of like, you know, people are like, that's weird, blah, blah. It's not that. I have an actual excuse for it. Okay, I actually do. There is so much power imbalance that it is not healthy for the streamer and it's not healthy for the viewer.
Michi,
It ain't
please,
a good
Russ
idea.
already tortured us by streaming for 17 hours and playing goddamn Plants vs Zombies. Please, I beg of you, this is your second stream today. Please be kind to our foreskin.
I find it so funny. Did she actually just play Plant vs Zombies? We're safe, chat. You. Okay, every time I say this, right, a lot of streamers say it. It's like, yeah, bro, that's parasocial. That's bad. It's not that. It's not even the parasocial part. Because here's the thing. Some people, like in chat, okay, there are so many charming people. There's so many sweet, sweet people. Sometimes you just can't help it, right? I get that feeling. I get that. It's like you just can't help it. You're like, damn, you're swoop away with how charming and sweet they are and how kind they can be, or how much they know about you, or how they are so committed to like supporting you. That shit can get to a person. I get it, but it's not fair. It's just, I don't think it's fair. Because they looked up to you and they kind of idolize you somewhat, right? As like a viewer, you kind of idolize whoever you're watching and shit at one point. A relationship where one partner idolizes the other more than the other partner is never... It ain't balanced. And most of the time, yes, I've seen successful ones happen. That is true. But more times I see it it becomes really toxic, you know? Like whatever the streamer wants, the streamer gets, kind of a thing. The other partner that isn't the streamer doesn't get a lot of say in a lot of things. Their times and effort are sacrificed, right? It's like, as a streamer, you know, you gotta stream. So, oh, you have? I have. I'm not gonna lie. I've seen like successful relationships that are like, I used to be... Bro, I feel like PewDiePie could be a really good example here where it actually is successful, you know? But it really depends, you know? It really depends on the person. And it's... More times it's not successful, you know. And if one guy says yes and 9 other guys says no, right? Think about it like a toothpaste, you know. 90% of dentists says this toothpaste is good. 10% of the dentist says it's bad. Deadass, who you gonna trust? You know what I mean? So I just think there's a power imbalance. Any relationship with a power imbalance is not good. But think about like a toothpaste. Deadass. I just think any power imbalance is never good. Never is. Never ends well. I know it's not a never, but most of the time it doesn't end well. It's dangerous. And like, I have seen people that, you know, I'm just gonna call it as is. They were in like, and their relationship was really toxic, brother. It was a really toxic relationship, okay? And they're like, I can't say anything, you know? Like, I can't give my opinion because, you know, they have so many supporters and their supporters are my friends. And there's always a reason. There's always gonna be a reason, bro. Like, I can't say nothing, you know? And they're like, damn. Well, that doesn't feel fair. It doesn't. So I'm very big against it. But that's one thing. I always see people that are like, why do they always change this goddamn code, bro? Like, I see people fall into that hole a little often. Where it's like they fell for... I'm out. I'm looking at that. That's scary. What the hell happened? I wasn't gone for that long. Like, they fall for a member of their community
Michi,
or their viewer.
Don't worry.
And, oh,
You're just the funny one, brain cell donkey I watch to entertain me, not parasocial. Michi,
it's not me!
parasocial.
Okay, now hold on. Why am I getting roasted here?